Hey guys, I'm SartorialPhil. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to do a selected review of the men's Louis Vuitton Fall Winter 2021 show. There were 70 looks in total. I'm just selecting a few of them and giving you some details around the accessories, mainly some of the bags. So this is the first look. That bag, it's a hard-sided briefcase basically in the mirror monogram. I think maybe a reflective monogram. I think it's probably leather, so it's similar to one that Marc Jacobs did for the women's line a few years ago, and this is now reinterpreted for the men's line. And then we also have an actual airplane made out of the Louis Vuitton monogram. I think this is probably just going to be a showpiece. It's not exactly practical. It does remind me a bit of what Thom Browne did with some of his bags that were in shapes of animals. This color combination I do find really pretty. This baby powder blue and then this tan with a slight ombre on the sides. And this is an exotic piece. And here Virgil's reintroducing the porte document, which was like a work bag. And this is, you can see he added the hairpin or the pin closure, and then this neon green and white color combination you see in other accessories and bags in this collection. And this is having I think it used to be called the monogram revelation, where the monogram is raised from the leather, which I do like. This is a rolling luggage in that same mirrored monogram. So this look, you have what looks to be a briefcase, but it's a miniature size of it. This used to be called the Robusto, and it has the S-lock in the front. This also has a new treatment with the ombre kind of glowing edge effect. And the Louis Vuitton has a spray painted effect as well. This look references the Friends that was done in the previous collection, though this one is all in leather, whereas the one he did for the summer collection was predominantly knitted or in fabric. And then this is there's a lot of text on the bag, so just showing you an example of what one of the straps look like with the text on it, and you can also see the airplanes as the button closures. This piece, I'm focusing on the soft trunk, and it's in a fabric you'll see later on that looks like the recycled felt fabric that you see in some lining or soundproofing applications. This, I think, is a new bag shape for men's. It kind of reminds me of a milk carton. The top is folded in. I think Hermes has a similar shape for this kind of bag, and this also has the top handle as well as the shoulder straps. I'm pulling this kind of military inspired look because, interestingly enough, for the Dior show, which was premiered after this, there was military influence in quite a bit of the jackets. And this one, besides the color and that half skirt, it didn't really feel part of this collection because I didn't really see other types of military motifs in the other look. So I wonder if this was kind of a nod to the Dior collection. Here we have a clear suit. I do kind of like the suit. It's probably in a PVC vinyl fabric, but it could be pretty versatile depending on what you layer it with. And then in the bag, you'll see in the corner, it's just like a tote silhouette, and it has some of the writings on it. One of the other big themes is tourist versus purist. So that's what it says on the bag, and I think it's flocked. This is, I think, another new bag silhouette. It's based on the steamer, which Virgil had sort of brought back in his collections. But this one, I think, makes it a little bit more usable because the top is open. That flap, I'm not actually sure it does too much, because in the steamer that he did, you would have to open the flap, kind of like a Birkin. There's like at least a few steps before you can access the contents, but here the top is actually open. I don't really like that strap that comes out of the top, dangling like that, but it does actually attach to the other side to either kind of close the top a little bit or serve as another handle. So this piece, I think, is probably one of the showstoppers. This style actually reminds me of some album covers that I've seen. So it's like a whole leather motorcycle look. I think this would be a great performance piece. This Keep Ball is one of the ones that was featured on Louis Vuitton's website before, or their Instagram and social media before the show went live. And you've seen it before in that kind of Nano Robusto where it has the glowing edges effect. So this one's in an orange, kind of spray painted orange on the sides. You also have that graffiti effect with the LV monogram, the logo. So this was, I think there were 2 city looks if I remember correctly. This is the Paris one. I'm 99% sure this won't actually be made. It's just part of, I think, the show and the whole idea about travel and tourists, things like that. So this contains several, I think, French or Parisian landmarks. To me, it feels like a art student project rather than something like Louis Vuitton would make. So here's a varsity jacket look. I think it would be pretty popular. And then here's a different angle of that. I'm calling it kind of a milk carton bag. And it does have a very exaggerated strap here. I'm not sure I like this beaded strap. This is a full look with that recycled felt or recycled fabric material that we saw earlier with the soft trunk. If I didn't know what this fabric was referencing, I think it's kind of a cool texture, but knowing that this fabric, or at least what it's referring to, is an extremely inexpensive fabric and not really meant to be shown, I don't think it works for it. It's just slapping the monogram on top of it and trying to make it luxe. But I think this is the other standout piece. You have it's like a full trench in that metallic monogram. And there was actually another piece. It wasn't shown on the runway, but in some of the press photos, it's similar with that full metallic, maybe lambskin material. And it has some vachetta accents as well as a lined collar. I think that would be a pretty cool jacket. In this look, the coat has that marbling effect, which was used in the background and the walls of the runway video. The bag here is that Port Document bag silhouette we saw earlier. But this sac plat is interesting. It seems like it's meant to look like wrinkled brown paper bags, but it's probably leather and it's treated in a way to give you those wrinkles. I think it's kind of cool. I'm not in love with how the handles are attached. That's one of my pet peeves with bags, is when handles are basically just one strap of leather that's been riveted or stitched on. And I kind of wish this one had a shoulder strap with it. And I think this effect would have been interesting if he did another smaller bag with it. I think this coat looks really nice. The patterning, it looks like agate or marble. Again, it's in line with the background. You can kind of see the green marbling. It also reminds me of Kim Jones's last collection with Louis Vuitton men's, when he did the aerial photographs. And I actually have one of the jackets with that. But this is in brown, whereas the one Kim Jones did was more in a grayish color scheme. This is the last piece that I'm selecting. You really need to see it in motion to appreciate it, because the monogram, they're like metal pieces that have been individually sewn onto the sweater. So when it moves, it has this really cool reflective quality to it, like almost like a gem-like quality to it. So those are just some of the pieces and details that I selected. You'll see here, it's kind of a slideshow of all 70 looks from the show. And then after this, if you're interested, I'm also having in a snippet of the performance within the walls, where you're kind of seeing all the models stand around like mannequins. So you get to see some of the details of the bags and accessories in 3D form. So that's basically my video. I'm interested to see what you thought about it. If there are pieces you think you might be interested in ordering. Usually the fall winter pieces will be in stores around the same time when the next show premieres, which should be in June. So thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.